So recently I made a video on emotions, on how to deal with them properly without suppressing them, right? Because a lot of the times what we do is we suppress our emotion. In that video, I basically explained the difference between feeling a feeling and suppressing that feeling. And in the comment section of that video, someone asked me a very good question, right? They were like, yo, you told me the difference between how to process an emotion and what it means to suppress it, but how do we actually go about releasing a feeling, right? And here's what I've learned. I'm just going to help you how to process the emotion without really having it left over in your subconscious mind and then carrying out the rest of the actions that you do throughout the day and throughout your whole life, right? So if you stick to the end of this video, I will break down a complex topic of how to process emotions in a much more simpler way for you to digest. So to borrow the example from my previous video, what I said was, let's say you go up to someone, let's say it's a guy or a girl, and you have the courage and bravery to ask them out. You go up to them and you let them know about your feelings and they reject you. What basically happens is you have this mindset of, oh, so I'm not good enough. You will have the feeling which is of rejection, right? But here's what I want you to know, right? Even though you go through that tough feeling, I don't want you to label that feeling. Don't label that feeling. Just accept that it's there and accept its presence. First step is to not label what you're feeling, because your feeling is very subjective to you. Your feeling is very unique to you. Your feeling has not been felt by anyone else. It's just being felt by you. And so what I want you to do is not label that feeling as sadness or anger or pain or this or that. Don't label it. Just accept that it's there. Accept its presence and accept the fact that it is there right now. And so when you do that, what basically happens is that you basically go to the level of acceptance on the scale of consciousness. And when you do that, what basically happens is that automatically, like in a switch, your vibrational frequency increases. And when your vibrational frequency increases, you see the world through a different lens. Now, this is very important to do that. You need to accept how you feel, because ain't no one else gonna be like, oh yeah, I accept that feeling for you. If you don't accept yourself, how would you expect someone else to accept you, right? And so step one is to just accept how you feel and let it be, right? Let it be. But most of the stuff that we're dealing with is not because we are actually angry, we're actually in pain, we're actually this. It's because we don't want to feel that. We don't want to feel anger, we don't want to feel the pain. Rather, we try to escape from it by watching YouTube, by playing games, by eating a lot of food. And I'm saying this because I've done it. I've been someone that has done it and I have experience of it. What I want to say is that no one is perfect. Even I'm not perfect, right? Just let it happen as it flows, right? Let it flow. And that brings me to my second point, which is basically to accept the sensations that you are feeling in your body. Because a lot of the pain we feel, a lot of the emotions we feel, we try to rationalize it through our brain. We try to put a label on it. We try to label it as me. We try to label it as my feeling. We try to label it as pain or anger or sadness or jealousy. Don't label that feeling. And just accept the sensations that are happening in your body, because a lot of the pain we feel is more of an experiential pain. We feel the feeling on an experiential level rather than a literary level, right? We feel it in more feeling the sense rather than something that we have to compute in our minds and put a label on, right? And so what I want you to understand is that how you're feeling, maybe you have a lump in your throat, or maybe your chest is a bit tighter, maybe your body is a bit stiffer, right? Accept how it is. Don't try to change it, accept it. And while you're in the process of this acceptance, you will have resistances, right? You will be in resistance mode, which basically means is that your body or your mind will try to resist feeling the feeling. And this is where it gets a bit complex to put into words, right? But allow yourself to feel the resistance itself. When you are feeling anything, right, allow yourself to feel that. Don't suppress the feeling to feel that. Allow yourself, just go through it and be like, have this attitude of, oh, wherever you take me, I'll go. Like, rest on the feeling that you're feeling right now. And when you do that, basically what happens is that you don't try to change or maneuver your way into a different thing. You try to focus on it and let the battery tank of that certain feeling or emotion run out. You need to think of your emotion as a battery tank, right? And the more you let it be, the more you accept that it's there, it will eventually run out, right? And so this in turn will help you keep in check of how you're feeling. And to do this process, you can do it in a room, like a quiet room. Do it for like 15 minutes by closing your eyes, or like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, even 1 minute. Just try doing it. For a bonus tip, try writing down what you're feeling on a piece of paper rather than thinking it in your mind, because when you let it out of your mind, when you just compute it on a paper or write it on a paper, you can see what it actually is and not for what your mind is making up to be. Now, it can be subjective to you. You can write anything you want, but you can see on paper, and so it's much more less overwhelming than it was before. And so the key takeaway from this video for you should be, you need to accept the feeling and let things go, right? Let them be. And when you let things be, you have the power now to choose what your next feeling is going to be. You have the power now to choose where you're going to flow next, because life is just ebbs and flows. And so you just need to know where you want to flow. And then even though bad shit will happen, even though good stuff will happen, bad stuff will happen, you need to know and have the faith that eventually I'm going to get there. But my life is just like a wave. It just goes up and down, but I'm going to be there anyways. And so I hope this video helps you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.